Hi everyone. You'll be thrilled to know that today we're going to look at the circular economy, brought to you by Glasgow City Council's absolute determination to change and transform Glasgow. But also, this is applicable for every single city in the world. Scotland, we seem to be a bit of a test case. I'm not sure why, but we're very small. We're Western. We're English speaking. We have a limited number of cities, all of which are signed up to become smart cities. You can check that out. That is the truth. I speak the truth. Happened in about 2015, I think, or 2019. Either way, it's definitely true. And there's all sorts of implications that go with this. One of them is the circular economy. So the smart city operates on a circular economy. Within the smart city, there are 15-minute neighborhoods. Talked about 15-minute neighborhoods to you before, maybe once or twice. And also there are, carbon restrictions, which means that your travel is limited. But today we're not going to talk, how thrilling, about Absolute Zero, which is a report that if you haven't heard of it, you absolutely must have a look at, because it'll explain to you that they're probably going to shut the airports around about between 2030 and 2050. And that will help you understand that when people are saying, limits to your freedom are coming, limits to your restrictions on movement are coming, it'll help you to understand that they're not just saying it, for something to say. And we're going to leave the 20-minute neighborhood thing because we've talked about that before. So those things are going to happen. What's going to happen as well is that your cities are going to work within your 15-minute neighborhoods on circular economies. So what's a circular economy? Let's have a look at what Glasgow City Council has to say about what a circular economy is. Well, let's just get rid of this. I don't know why it always shows up, and it means I can't scroll until I've gotten rid of it, but there you go, it's gone. Right, hello Glasgow, and hello in particular Councillor Anna Richardson, who is responsible for all of this. I wonder though, to what degree she really understands. And so I'm not going to slate her because I don't think that's helpful. But I do think that if you have any contact with her, it will be really, really interesting to see how she felt about how I feel about what's happening here. So here we go. This is the Glasgow Circular Economy Route Map for Glasgow 2020. Please don't worry. I know it's got 121 pages. I'm not going to take you through the 121 pages. Just so you know, I have read the 121 pages. I don't think it's necessary to read them all to you for you to understand sort of what my issue with it is, and for me to illuminate for you, concerns, and then you can decide whether they concern you too. Okay, so here we are, and circular economy route map for Glasgow 2020. We are a city on a journey, transforming to meet the challenges of a new and unprecedented future. This route map outlines our vision to move forward with a circular approach and how we interact within our communities throughout our city and across our nation. This route map aims to address the complex issues entrenched into the mindset of a throwaway society. Now, having read the document, basically the main thrust of it is that it's really going to appeal to most people. It appeals to me without one component, and I'll explain that later. But, it's about reusing everything. And creating a society where there isn't any waste, because we take whatever waste it is, we see it for its component parts, and we distribute it amongst other industries which require those component parts. Within the circular economy, the idea is that we are all healthier, we are all happier, because we're all engaged in purposeful, meaningful activity, which is going to build our community. And the areas have been made greener by the 15-minute city concept, and we are walking more, so we're healthier, and we're reusing everything, so we know that we're taking care of the environment, so that gives us a good sense about ourselves. And what's to complain about? And up to that point, I don't have a problem with it at all. And that's the thing, you notice that the mainstream media is attacking conspiracy theorists, or mocking them. Mocking is a better word because it's more appropriate to sort of, to my point, because that's what they are doing. Saying, oh, why would you not want to live like this? Or these people, essentially, these people would find a problem with anything. And you've always got to think, when the mainstream media engages in mocking, that's a concern, because there is nothing unbiased about mocking a group of people. So then you're looking at, okay, well, who's allowing that? Who's paying for it? And how is that managing to get past sort of editorial consent? Um, Certainly, in all sorts of news departments, you're going to see that amusing everybody up until the line where they say, actually, well, we can't print it because it's degrading, and it's very politically oriented, so we need to stay within our bounds as producers of news, which is fact. However, anyway, so all of that, I mean, it seems really, really lovely. With a new vision encompassing a circular approach, we can create a future where we maximize the value in all of our materials and minimize our consumption. It is within a circular economy that the city will rebuild itself stronger, will be more connected and more successful, ensuring a secure future for all Glaswegians. Now, you carry on down, and obviously it gives you your contents page, executive summary, a couple of things that I've highlighted just so that you can see. Obviously, circular economy is a buzzword. The United Nations is mentioned very quickly. Systemic change is required. No matter how small these changes may seem at city level, these are key steps. Each and every effort will help us to address our global challenge and will help to reduce carbon cumulatively worldwide. So this is it's very much about it's also focused on minimizing carbon as well, because they're all tied together. Everything is tied together. The circular economy route map presents an alternative economy focused on fixing and sharing as a gateway to stimulate civic participation. A localized economy will help establish a 15-minute city vision within Glasgow, where everything you need is accessible to you on a local scale within a 15-minute journey from home. Local communities can be re-energized to enhance self-sufficiency and build resilience as a necessary outcome of the response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, so it's all sounding lovely, fluffy, wonderful. To move forward, we must also establish the social, environmental, and commercial baselines of the city, because only through this type of analysis can we hope to measure progress. And that's where it starts to fall apart. Okay. The reason that it starts to fall apart, this is the reason. In all, firstly, just think for yourself. Do we really need to establish baselines of poverty to know in 5 years' time that a situation has improved for a group of people or not improved? You don't. You can, anecdotally, you can find that information out. You can see that information. You might want to get some specifics about some things, but you don't need to. You don't need to have a baseline for every single element of everything in order to see progress. And what we're talking about here is improving society for people. And if that's a genuine intent, then you are not concerned with measuring and monitoring and monetizing every aspect of it. You are just concerned with doing it. So what this is we think about it, a lovely circular economy, yeah, and everybody's reusing everything, and they're upscaling, and they're recycling, and they're just being brilliant in every single way. Now, how, given that type of economy, is the rich man going to get richer? You know, if people are not buying new products, then the accumulation of wealth cannot occur through retail in the same way that it does. You can squeeze people out of business and just have large retailers, say for instance Amazon or the huge big supermarket chains, and make money that way. But it's not going to be enough to satisfy the greed of the people at the top. We know that because this whole system that we have had before is about satisfying their greed. Now, acknowledging that there's a problem with that system, I think everybody would acknowledge that there's a problem with that system. It's gone too far. But on the other hand, you don't want to, leap from the frying pan into the fire, which is what this is. The people who created that system are suggesting to you this system, and they're dressing it up in these beautiful terms where we'll all have the things that we crave because they broke those things down in order to make the money that they now have. Yeah, all of our communities, we became, assets and workers and into industry and factories and, so on and so forth. But having broken it all down, it's now not working anymore. It's not going to accumulate them any more wealth. They need to do something else. They're in a lot of debt. So how are they going to make money out of this? They're not going to make money out of this per se. The way they're going to make money is that they're going to, so it's called technocracy. They're going to take every single thing that you can think of. So, energy used for walking, and they're going to energy used for breathing. They're going to measure it. So, and once they've measured it, they made it quantifiable. And by making it quantifiable, they can then monetize it. They can give it a value, a number value. It won't be real money. It's the central bank digital currency money, but you can still accumulate numbers apparently. So they'll give it a value. And then by monitoring everybody, literally watching them 24/7, putting sensors in their clothing, putting cameras all over their residential areas, and having cameras within the home and within the cars, they can monitor everything. And once they have all of that data, which is a never-ending stream of data because people keep doing things, we have to, they can buy and sell that data. And they can also, because all of the public organizations and the governments are sold out to the private corporations, what they can do is they can have fun with us, and they can, insert a social intervention. So basically, your community won't get funding unless the types of projects you want to do are this type of project, and they'll push a particular type of project through, fluffy advertising. And some people will pick up that project and they'll run with it. And what the people at the top will do with all the money is watch. That's a social intervention for them. And they'll say, okay, right, well, I predict that this outcome's going to happen. Those people are going to behave in this way, and this is going to happen. And someone else can go, oh, do you know what? No, according to this data that I've been looking at, this is not going to be the outcome. That's going to be the outcome. I know, let's bet on it, that's how they're going to make the money. And that is where the problem is. Like, it's absolutely fine, everybody, go right ahead and build lovely communities, but do not relinquish your freedom of movement, and do not allow people to watch you all the time, to put a measurable, quantifiable price on everything human and earthly on our planet, and then make a game out of it. Like Julianne Romanello said, play fantasy football with all of us and our children. This is the problem with it. Now, I think that I can show you all of this, having said all of that. It's really interesting, actually. They actually mentioned the Club of Rome. I mean, really, whoever's doing your propaganda needs to think twice, because that's not going to help you at all. Because here it says, oh gosh, this critique of governmental policy and the fears of resource depletion continued in the late 1960s with the formation of the influential Club of Rome, co-founded by the Glaswegian scientist Alexander King. The first major report they produced was the document The Limits to Growth in 1972, which was a warning of resource exhaustion by the end of the 21st century and a plea to address the degenerative exploitation of nature. Yeah. I'm going to take you over here. This is the book in question, and this is the paragraph they're talking about right here. Now listen to this. The common enemy of humanity is man. So you are the enemy. In searching for a new enemy to unite us, so we've been looking for an enemy to unite the people, because if the people are united fighting against a common enemy, then they are controllable and predictable. Okay, so in searching for a new enemy to unite us, we came up with the idea, okay, that pollution, the threat of global warming, water shortages, famine, and the like would fit the bill. Okay, so does that sound? I'm not saying that all of those things that are noted are not issues that we should all take seriously, but I would really like people to think seriously about whether that sounds like a group of people who are really concerned for the welfare of man. I'm actually just going to leave it here. Do you know what? I think that I've made my point, and I hope that I have made it sort of reasonably lucidly. And I really appreciate your time and thank you for watching. And if there's anything in here that's of any use to anybody, go right ahead and share it. I love you. Bye.